Good evening and welcome to another broadcast from the American Ricci Mahjong League. I will be on commentary tonight. I am on Wii and I am joined by Dustin. How are you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing great. I'm pumped for this matchup. It's if you can see the standings there are three people near the top, then Anya near the bottom. This is exactly the place where she can get ahead in the standings by taking the points off the people near the top. So we'll see if she can do that momentarily.
Well, and Anya had a pretty killer season last season too. So, I mean, you could see her last season stats, a 27% win rate and a 12% deal-in rate. That's a pretty solid spread.
Yeah, the win rate is particularly high, though the average value is not as much, but that can work out. And it looks like we're getting started. A monster pin hand from this dealer.
And one of the Dora Wests. Our first dealer is going to be Patrick. Christian on the right, and then across the table is Sichuan, and on the left is Anya. And I mean, Patrick pretty much immediately going for the Honitsu here.
Yeah, calling that Chun. I mean, you can't not go for that in that case.
It's this 3-3-4-4-4-5.
Another Dora.
Oh my god. I mean, this could easily become Honitsu, Toy Toy, Chun, Dora 2 or 3. I mean, this is building up to be a dealer Baimon.
Would that be a dealer by one?
Let's see. Honitsu, Toy Toy, Chun. It'd have to be Dora 3 to get the Baimon.
Right. There is one in Christian's hand. They may or may not throw it.
I mean, if Christian's going to throw it, I feel like it has to be thrown right now. Yep.
Oh no. And this weight is 3, 4, and 5. Wow. The 4
Yeah,
is like
on the four it won't be Toy Toy.
You're right. But with Honitsu Yakuai Dora 3, Dealer Hanemon, you'll take anything you can get. Oh, a Ricci. It's
Oh
gonna be very
man.
deadly.
Oh god, this is horrifying.
At least the dealer's winning tiles are not Genbutsu to the Ricci. But I don't know. I mean, he does know there's the open Dora pawn and the Yakuai, so he knows it's at least a dealer Mongun is going up against. But a dealer
What?
Baimon,
Oh.
that'd be
Well, and this is an interesting. Would you have taken this Ricci on the? I mean, it's a pretty good Shenpon waiting on the south, but would you have taken this? Well, I guess. Patrick's hand is not obviously a Honitsu, is it?
Not quite. But I against open, especially since you're south, is oh no. Oh, double rod as well. But that's one Han, but that's the first one then.
Oh,
Or
the
that the
second
first
one.
You see the second one, like, oh no.
How
24,000 points right off the bat.
Anya
What
getting
a
into
monster.
Tenpai on the three-peat as well. I mean, an incredible start for Patrick and an absolutely disastrous start for Christian. I mean, it's still East 1 and you're starting at 4,000 points. I think you kind of have to pretend that that didn't just happen though
Yeah, I mean, you knew what you're going up against, at least part of the way, at least a dealer Mongun. And although the South, the value Champagne was there, it was also the door indicator, so there was only one more.
Oh man. Well, and Anya probably breathing a sigh of relief as well, getting to win on that hand. Very well may have thrown. Well, I guess a 5-pin would have upgraded her weight, so she probably wouldn't have dealt in anyway. Patrick's hand, once again, though, looking really good.
Yeah, it's already Yishantan. The weight is that?
Yeah, now you just throw away the 1-2 pin.
Well, 2 pins Dora, so maybe not. But then you can get Tanya, so keep the 2 pin just in case you get a pair.
There's, well, it's not quite Tenpai, is it?
I'm assuming not, otherwise they'll just slam the button.
It's so awkward because your
Oh,
pairs are kind of sitting there in the
is.
Sozu. Now we're Tempai.
I think it already was. Unless, oh no, that's 3 6s from Anya,
Yes.
and this is
6-9-3.
6 9.
Wait.
Nice.
Not all of that is Pinfu though, I don't think. Or maybe it is. If you went on the 3-so.
I think the 3 so is a Tonki.
Yes. Because it's that weird Nobetan run shape, the 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8.
And with 8, yeah, 9 so would be a 1 chance, but there's also only one more left in the wall.
Anya not hesitating to push at all into this. Toss the 4-peen right up against that dealer Ricci. Toss the 5-mon and the 4-mon before that. And Anya's hands.
Well, Anya
she has the Dora
3,
pawn.
yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Plus, since the dealer discarded the Dora, it's very unlikely that they'd be using it, so it's a reasonable discard.
And they could have at most one.
Plus, in that situation, you really need the points. Oh, their weight is... There could be another double run, but...
Yeah. A 5-so wait for Christian. For Tonyao Nomi.
There's 2 more 3-sos left in the wall.
One 5-so left for Christian.
Oh.
I feel like you summoned the Sanso just by saying that it was in the wall.
Well, the 6-sos weren't. There was still then 1 9-so, I think. But this is just the mysticism of Sanso. And 2 Dora for the dealer.
I mean, this is already 2 Shanten.
Yeah, an Anko, 2 Ryanman, and 2 Dora. It's going to be insane for Patrick.
Can't open this hand, though, so is going to have to keep it closed. Well, unless you can transition to Toy Toy, I suppose.
Yeah. I think I prefer probably dropping the 4-so just in case you pair up the Green Dragon, but then just... Oh, actually, it was already once cut and now twice cut, so I guess that's fair.
Patrick was the first person to drop the Hatsu. Everyone else just followed suit afterwards. Anya once again with a quick callable hand, though. Not the best shapes, but the pair of Easts is going to make that hand a little bit easier to complete.
Yeah, the double Green Dragon drop is a little unfortunate, especially since that would also be Chitoy Ishanten.
Each.
Oh, and now we have Ricci from Sichuan across the table waiting 7-peen Kanchan. So that is Ricci Nomi. We only see 1 7-peen in hand right now.
Yeah, it'll fit into Anya's hand. Well, the dealer push, I mean, you don't need that many points. They're already pretty high up as well, but...
Well, the issue is, what does not pushing look like for Patrick? I mean, the safest tile in your hand would normally be the pay, but it's kind of Dora right now.
Well, 6-so is, or 6-mon is Genbutsu.
When you only have one Genbutsu tile and it tears apart your hand, I feel like it's often hard to throw away. But the 7-peen is just going to come in for Sichuan there. That's going to get them above 30k.
Yeah, and the Urd helps quite a bit.
Right, now we'll see if Christian can make anything of this dealership. Usually your first dealership you're not quite as precious about as your second, but Christian needs every opportunity to wring value out of hands as possible. And this is actually a good start, starting with an Anko of the 1-mon and a complete 7-8-9-peen. Just doesn't quite have enough blocks yet.
Yeah, it's decent for efficiency. No value, though. I don't really see a path to value. You could, if you break up that 1-mon, possibly get Pinfu.
If you drew a 9-so, you could possibly get Sanshoku. But Anya already Tempai waiting on the Dora North. Anya's opened, I think, every single hand so far. A 41.8% call rate is, I believe, above league average, but that's not especially high in general.
I think it might be fairly high. Looks like, yeah, a lot of the 9-stars were cut, so the Sanchoku was killed off for the dealer.
1
That 3-mon's a great draw for Patrick. Ooh, that weight on the West.
Yeah, just one West since it is the indicator. Oh, if they selected the other way, it would have been impossible, but you couldn't have known that. Although it would have been... Oh,
Oh!
Sumo for Anya.
Dora Pay Tonki.
Nice.
So now we have 3 players above 30k. Only Christian is below because of that dealer Baimon deal in while in Ricci on the first hand. And Sichuan here with a pretty great high pie. I mean, you don't have 5 blocks yet, but you do expect to get there pretty quickly.
I think there may be a little too many honors, especially that West draw. At least you have the Dora Jason 4-pin. You can probably rack up a repeat calling the Green Dragon. Not in anyone else's hand yet, though. Might be stuck in the wall for a little bit.
We got the Chun in Christian's hand. So if you're Christian, you're obviously way down at this point, but it's only East 3. Are you willing to take a 1 or 2 Han open hand, or are you going to push for value on every single go-round?
Honestly, if it's a kind of hand that can get value, then yes. But I guess with this one, you couldn't really like force a Honitsu, like reasonably. Here, at least you might get your lucky Chun Dora, Ricci Chun Dora. That's if you're lucky.
If I was Sichuan, I feel like I would have cheated the 5-mon there. You've already got the Hatsu. We're getting towards the end of the first row. I would have liked to get my 5th block and dump the quickly becoming dangerous 4-pin. But we do have a Ricci from Anya on the right waiting on Tuso. That is Ricci Sanshoku.
Oh,
Oh, the 5-pin's immediately going to come
no.
out into Christian's hand.
So Chun Dora. I guess I'm not sure if he called before or after the Ricci, but it's definitely good to shut the hand down. And Anya starting off with a Dora, an Anko of the South, and 1 run. The rest of the hand could use some more work together. It's already a West pawn from Christian, but the rest of his hand is quite a mess. 3 distinct honors. I guess 1 complete set and a pair, but it's just so... Ugh.
I wonder if there's an extent for Christian there of calling just to get to some sort of win opportunity. Like, that hand felt like it would have been very difficult to reach Tenpai before anyone else without calling.
Yeah, it could be one of those situations. Just doesn't feel great. I hopefully maybe not wouldn't call again, because that may make you a little bit exposed.
Sichuan's hand on the left is coming together in a really interesting way. If you draw another 7-so or 6-so, it makes things a little awkward because you really, right now, your hand's wanting to use that as runs, but you might start thinking about Sananko or even Suanko.
Yeah, definitely keep it as a possibility. There's a Chi from Christian waiting on 2, and that lone 2 from Sichuan comes out right now.
Yeah, was keeping the Hatsu as a safe tile. And we're already in the South round. Oh my god, and the South is Dora, but it's Mochi Mochi between Anya and Sichuan.
Oh no.
So they're both probably going to be greeting for that right off the bat, but neither of them are going to be able to bring it in. Anya probably has a slight advantage here because she could, well, I was going to say she could make Junchan or even just a Sanshoku. Does look like she is taking a more efficient approach, perhaps favoring a potential Itsu in the Mon.
Should just have more middle tiles, penchants, but fills one of them in quickly enough. See,
Patrick,
Chanta, door 2.
ooh, I mean, all right, not taking the Atazuke there. He's actually moving this hand inside. I guess the six Mon could be a second pair here. Is that Chitoy? Yes.
Yeah. Dama on 4, so probably waiting for a better weight. And Cheetah door 2. You could just Dama it.
1
Ooh, the 9-pin feels really good though. Like the 9-pin is a tile here where I feel like I would Ricci to try and draw it out. Your discard pool looks suspicious going 8, 7, 3, 4, but any first row Ricci, it's kind of hard to tell what tiles mean. But if anybody wants to play that 8-pin as Sotagawa, if they have no other choice while trying to play defense or trying to Mawashi, the 9-pin could very easily come out there. Patrick
Right.
is going to call to challenge this.
Yeah, it's going to be Otozuke and the Green Dragon, or it could switch to Tanyo easily enough.
リ
Or
ーチ
Honitsu.
Oanya gets just, I think this is Ricci. Yeah, Ricci door 2. Two-sided weight at least, and waiting on a safe tile from Sichuan. See, there's 1 7-mon, 2
Sumo.
4-mon. Oh, just Sumo, Ricci, Sumo, Chitoy, Dora 2, Hanimon at least. No
No
Ura,
Ura.
but brings them in reach of Patty. Actually, maybe
Not quite
not
there.
quite above, but
A-
very close.
And Sichuan has a dealership left while Patrick does not.
And now it's Christian's turn to
Home.
possibly get out of this terrible position. At least one person's below 30k, so they may not necessarily have the full Uma loss. Calling the Yakuhai, they'll have at least Yakuhai Dora 1. So it's a start. There are lots of middle weights. Oh, filled in the 4, 5, 6 though. But still, no pair. Penchon, Kanchan. You'd love to pair the door up, but there's only one more of those left in the wall.
1
Yeah, might even just call here going Doratanki. It's not unlikely that a 7-pin ends up flowing out of Patrick's
Home.
hand if a 9-pin or 6-pin is drawn. Well, if Patrick decides to go Toy Toy though,
本
Oh? Yeah, the 7-pin may not come out. And if you see that 8-mon Tadashi, you're going to be a little suspicious about the Dora Tonki, possibly. Even if you weren't. Oh. Well, 6-1 can use it, but it's lonely in Anya's hand.
7-mon wait now for Christian. This would be a good start for him. This would be a really bad Tempai for Patrick, but is considering taking it. Oh, and gets rewarded! The complex Tonki wait. Discard 5-mon, now waiting on 6-pin, 8-pin, 9-pin. Only one 8-pin left in the wall. 2 6-pin left in the wall, and 3 9-pin left in the wall.
And 2 7-mon. Oh, yeah, they switched away to 3 6-mon. Unfortunately, they had the 5-mon, so
Oh.
they
Oh.
get the win.
That was a great wall read from Patrick there.
Yeah, could have had Toy Toy, but the win to move things along is great since you're in first place.
Yeah, and that's tragic for Christian there. Had Tempai, you had Adora, you had a Yakuhai, you could start to get some momentum, and it's just immediately snatched away.
Stealer hand.
Shiromi here, though.
An Anko, a run, possibly Peiko, maybe go full Chinitsu. Oh, breaking up the Aeon pair. They definitely want Chinitsu or Honitsu. And a
Oh,
reward
and-
with another pin tile.
So you've already got 4 blocks here in the Pinzu. Oh, and not Navitas brought along a party here.
Nice.
Yeah, don't really want to call that 2-peen. Doesn't help you out a bunch.
Fortunately, most of the 1-pin are gone.
Yeah, would you take a 4-peen chi? I imagine you would.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, the 1 versus 4 doesn't really make a difference, but maybe at this point you may even take a 2-pin or 3-pin pawn, possibly.
I don't know that a 2-pin or 3-pin pawn helps you out much.
We'll see if they pass it.
It doesn't increase your Shanten, and it doesn't really make your shapes any better. You might take it if you were worried about drawing a dangerous tile after someone else called Ricci, perhaps.
I
Then you would
guess
have a guaranteed safe honor discard.
1、
if you have several open like triplets, people will be really scared about pushing pin tiles or just pushing in general. I guess that's the way it would help you. See, this weight is
Single weight on the Dora
6,
6-mon.
and only 1 left in the wall. And the 2 in Christian's hand fit together, so he's not going to throw those.
Especially since he needs that value.
And Sichuan folding a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need to risk dealing into Patrick. If this goes to exhaustive, you still have a good shot at coming in first and all last.
Right. It'd just be so tempting for this Chinitsu. And you just keep on drawing pin tiles and like, ugh.
I mean, but wasn't drawing any before that. Like, had already basically given up by the time the pin
1、
tiles started coming into hand. And now we have the chase from Christian, waiting 1-mon, 4-mon. The 1-mon is Genbutsu to Patrick.
Right, but there's only 1 more of those left. But if Sichuan was going to throw the 4-mon before, especially because it's near the door, they're definitely not going to throw it now.
There's actually 2 more 4-mon left in the wall, though.
Right, where are they? We might.
I mean, over 10% of the unseen tiles are 4-mon at this point.
Yeah, I think. Oh,
That's
yeah,
not that one.
They can con to. Oh, I guess that works out either way. I guess they need a con. They didn't need a con to deny either Ricci their last draw. But I would definitely do that.
Yeah, same. You had the safe Tuso in hand. You can con, discard the Tuso, guarantee you're not going to deal in all as well. But here we are. We're in all last. I mean, this game flew by incredibly quickly. I mean, it's only been 23 minutes since the stream started, and we started 1 or 2 minutes before the game did.
Yeah, that's a pretty fast game. Very Tanya type hand for Anya. Not too far away from being above 30k, and there's 2,300 in points on the table. So they'll definitely want to be above 30k for that increase in Uma. And they get a direct hit on either first or second. Getting a placement bump is not out of the possibility.
Yeah, especially as dealer.
Not looking like a Tanya now, but possibly Ricci Pinfu Dora. Maybe even Ipeko.
Although all you have to do for this to start looking like a Tanya again is to pull in a 6-mon. It does look like Christian is going for a Kokushi. Started off very far away. But I mean, you got to do something. And that is a good way to fight.
Ooh, great upgrade for Anya. Samanchan, Ryanman, Ishanten. We're gonna get like a triplet as well.
Yeah, even the 7-mon would be Tenpai, although the last one just got discarded from Christian. Patrick also, with a Kokushi hand, has 9 distinct terminals and honors. There's the San Minchan Tenpai, though, for Anya, waiting 2-peen, 5-peen, 8-peen. Ricci Pinfu Dora 1.
Yes, 1 8-pin, 2 2-pin, and now 2 or 1 5-pin left in the wall, which is not great, but there's still a chance to sumo it. So Ricci, Pinfu, Dora. Oh, another 2-pin drawn, unfortunately. And since
The, o-
those hands were going for Kokushi, they could fold very easily.
the only person who can really challenge Anya here is Sichuan. But to push here, he'd really want to have enough value to overcome Patrick. You really don't mind Anya winning if it gives you another chance to make a 3 or 4 Han hand.
Yeah, and with the pin tiles as there, they'd have to push that 2-pin out probably to actually get a hand.
They did start folding a bit ago. Oh, the 2-pin came into
Sumo.
hand for Anya.
So Ricci, Sumo, Pinfu, Dora, and no Aura, but brings you, well, at least about 30k. I don't think a placement shift happened yet, but very much in reach.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's right here together now. Just 5,000 separating third and second, 5,000 separating second and first. And there's how many Honba in the middle now? 2.
2. There were 2 sticks and 1 Honba before, and then a 3rd stick after she reached it. Ooh, 2 Yakuai pairs. Pretty great if you can get those.
Let's see. So the person with the most to consider as far as specific value goes here is Sichuan on the left. You can't win with just the north. That wouldn't be enough. You could do it if you wanted to secure your second place. There's no difference in Uma in second place, whether the other person's above 30k or not. So I guess you could play to just keep placement to keep Anya from going above you.
Right, there is merit in that.
I do feel like, though, the potential gains from going from second to first are better than the losses going from second to third. Because even if you went into third, you would still be a positive third. So you would end up with, positive points. You would only lose out on 5 UMA, whereas gaining first would increase your UMA by 10.
Right. And now Anya's also Rishanten. That's
Oh,
Tenpai.
Tenpai.
Great weight, although 9 pins near door, so maybe not as likely to come out, but doesn't really fit in Patrick's hand. It's kind of extra in Christian's hand, and then a little extra in Sichuan's hand.
Kang.
Ooh, the close
Ooh.
con. 3-pin new Dora. That does not, that helps Patrick a little bit, but
Patrick doesn't need
hand-
value. Patrick just needs to finish.
Yeah, I guess they are also 1 away, but potentially the weight is not going to be great. Oh,
There's a 9 pin.
Just going to be the 1 Han, but avoids the deal in for now. If they do get a 7-pin, it would be Tenpai waiting on the
Oh.
Nudora.
Ricci from Patrick, waiting on the 4 pin.
Yep, 3 of those in Christian's hand. I think is Genbutsu, yeah. Throws a 1-pin instead, which is not safe in your Dora, which I guess they didn't want to completely destroy their chance of the hand. Oh, there's a 7-pin.
Oh, now that 9 pin's in.
And 9-pin, that's going to give them Tanya. That's going to be so
Each.
tempting to not. Are they going to deal in? Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. 1 Han. Yeah, on closer and closer to that second place bump. This hand not as good for that though. You pair up this Yakuai, then maybe you can get something.
8-mon is Dora, and Anya's hand can't accept that. Christian has 2 of them in hand already, though. So not much left for everyone else.
All those ones. The Doko. Believe in the Doko, Tucker.
Just start calling the ones. You gotta, again, we're back to the flow book 1 strategy. You call the 1 pin, you call the 1 so, assuming the 1 mon will come into hand.
Exactly. Although, if Sichuan wants to go for Itsu, the 1 pin is not going to come out, and the other 1 pin is in Patrick's hand, which, if they get a 4 pin, then the 1 pin might come out from there. Oh,
Although it
1 pin
does
comes out,
look
it's not
like
called.
it does look like Patrick could get. Wait, you're saying Anya's not taking the advice of Flowbook 1?
I guess not. Maybe they didn't read it, but That is Chitoy 2 Shanten for Anya. I don't like Chitoy, but sometimes that's just the hand you're given. In Anko, you could switch to a normal hand.
I have found though that Chitoy does seem particularly good in this Akanashi format. It's so hard to get value most of the time here without red 5s, but a Chitoy can increase in value so quickly.
True. Oh, that's so unfortunate. The 4,
Oh,
5, 6
man.
punish. There's no way. And like the 4 pin versus the 4 so is essentially the same. Except I guess if you're a fan of Sanzo, depending on the meta, like either if you think people wait on Sanzo, then you throw the 4 so, because then you're more likely to get the pins.
I do.
A call?
Gee.
It is a call.
Is gonna do the Honitsu, try to end things.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a Bakuhan, but it will be putting them in first place. You know, Anya's Ishanten, it's probably not going to be great, although that 4 pin could set up a Suchi trap, but there's just the 1 pin left.
All right, now you can throw away the Pinchan.
Though filling in the 7, I guess ideally you get an 8 mon or a 6 mon, then you get another Ryanman. Just have 1 pin as your pair.
Ishanten now for Patrick.
Yeah, West 9 pin,
Yeet.
8 pin. I guess you can call 7 pin as well.
Oh, but a Ricci from Sichuan on the left. This is Ricci Pinfu Tanyao with 3 Homba. I believe that would be plenty.
I believe so. It's going to be close, especially if it's not a direct. I mean, a direct on Patty's definitely enough, but
Well, a sumo
Oh,
is perfectly
Sumo
fine, and that's
Ipeko.
Ipeko, so that's definitely enough. So that's gonna be first place.
Sumo Ipeko Tanyao. Ura
He gets
2
two
on
Ura!
top.
Just for the flavor. What a fantastic last hand there.
Yeah, and you see the stats have already updated, and of this group, Sichuan was 3rd, I believe, and now they're at the top in 3rd place in their division. Yeah, great game for Sichuan. Especially since I believe it was Patty who had that early dealer Baimon monster hand.
Yes. Was that the only hand that Patrick won?
I'm
This is easy to
not
verify.
sure.
Hold on,
I guess
game
yeah, we
was-
just look at it.
No, Patrick had a sumo in East 1-1. So Patrick won 1 Baimon and 1 Tuhan sumo, but nothing else. I mean, there were only 12 hands.
And a Hatsunomi.
Oh yes. In the South round. But what a game that was. It was kind of a blitz. I mean, 12 hands in 30 minutes. Christian was the person who was at the front of the pack here, had a solid plus 70, was very, very well in the promotion range early on in the season here. But that huge 57.4 hit, I mean, just couldn't get anything to come together. Even when Christian was Tenpai, it just seemed like nothing was working.
Yeah, it was just really unfortunate. I mean, they did know there's the open Yakuai, open Dora pawn. So it's like, is that really worth pushing against that from a dealer? And I'm not sure. At least one of they had the Champagne, but one of their win tiles was the Dora indicator. So they knew that was it at least.
Yeah, so we can actually fast forward in this hand here. Take a look at it. See when the Ricci was called, what sort of improvements Christian could have made here.
And one of the 2 monos dead, that's definitely
Yeah, that doesn't help.
just 2 tiles
Home.
left.
All right, and so there's our Tenpai. Got the Tenpai right after the Dora Pone. With all of the middle tiles that dealer has tossed
I
out,
think
like
that's still Shanten actually.
oh right, they get Tenpai on the next draw. They need a 7-mon still.
G.
I mean, I'm honestly, even Anya here. Like, I don't think I would have taken that chi. I have two safe 7-so in hand and a 1-so that I feel pretty okay discarding. I think if I'm Anya, I start folding at this point too, although I am well known for defensive play.
Well, sometimes a good defense involves offense. You shut down that dealer Mongon with a 1K hand, you're good to go.
God, that 8 pin feels bad
So
though.
I could see that. Well, I think well, they just discarded the 7 pin. It
Uh,
could be a deal in, but it could also be making it somewhat safe.
After a
1
pawn, it's so hard to tell. There's our Ricci though from Christian on the right. Yeah, I mean, there's only two souths. There's only one south left rather, and only one Tumon. No one can use the south certainly, but you're just you're kind of banking on it coming into someone's hand. But what would the improvements be? I guess that 2-2-3-4-5 shape. If you draw a 3-mon, a 4-mon, a 6-mon, those would all be good improvements. Even a 1-mon. So
Yeah.
a lot of the Monzu do improve that weight, although it's not going to get you Pinfu.
I wouldn't hate, just taking the Dama Tenpai. I don't know if I'd really say this is like, a pin Honitsu necessarily. It's just a little unfortunate with the draw. And then
I
going in with this just 2 left weight against this at least Mongon for the dealer.
I do think that the fact that the South is Yakuhai for Christian there, I feel like that makes the Dama a little bit stronger because you can kind of poke around just for a little bit and see what dealer's hand looks like it's doing. And once you see an entire row of Sumogiri after the 2 pawns, then when you draw that 3 pin, or really even when you drew the 6-mon probably, but when you draw that 3 pin, then
Yeah.
you can look at it and say, okay, like this hand, like you don't expect a Baimon still, but at the very least you could avoid the Mongon deal in.
Yeah, if they did Dama, they would have got that 6-mon, which would give them a 3-sided weight, but no ability to win Dama except from Sumo. But then immediately after, they just draw that 3-pin, which is just not be great. But still, I mean, 3-sided weight, no value against dealer Mongon at least. Just I don't really look at like, push pull, but it can be very risky.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of tough. I mean this almost felt like a Sanma hand to me when you just see one player with an absurd amount of value revealed and the kind of decisions you make against it. Like that's very much something that happens in 3-player all the time. Like in 4-player, you kind of always have this assumption like the deal-in chance is typically pretty low for any individual player. Like your win rate's almost always going to be higher than the chance that you just kind of deal in randomly. But when
Right.
one person has so much value, it kind of warps the expected value, even if the specific deal-in chances aren't horrible. But Christian's going to be our first dealer here, so let's see if we can put together a game to start getting some of those points back.
I feel like I played a good amount of Sama today, and I lost all the matches, so it kind of warps my perception of Mahjong a little bit. I kind of like hate Mahjong today just because of that, but I'm still here. Let's see. White Dragon's Dora. Anya gets one. No one else has one yet. Dealer hand shaping up all right. Wouldn't have value, but the shapes are okay.
Just can't seem to improve any of them quite yet. You could get a 6-7-8 Sanshoku if you're really lucky with drawing around the Pinzu. Hey,
Could
there's the
have,
8.
but they killed their 9. Oh, I guess you don't have to get the 7, 8, 9.
I'll say a 6-7-8.
Yeah. I was just thinking the 7, 8, 9, especially because like with the 1, 2, I guess you have that 5-mon Anko, but it's just like it feels like almost the Junchan.
A pseudo Junchan. Anya's hand progressing a little bit here.
1
Ooh, Christian considered the chi there just for a second, not for long. Could have just
Yeah.
gone Tanyao even if the Sanshoku didn't end up shaping up.
Patrick going possibly Sanshoku, Pei, Dora, Tonki. So that would be a Mongon. Would be great value. Dora's already once cut now, though.
There's another one. You could, well, no, you can't go Honitsu when you've already called a different suit, huh? I guess that doesn't work. Only one pay left in the wall for Patrick. Ooh, there's the 7-peen. So a nice little 2 Shanten for Christian here.
Yeah, 3 of those 6 is still left in the wall. The 6 Mon. The 8, so
Oh,
do you want to
I
call
feel
that?
like you take it. I feel like you have to. It's so late.
I would call the 6 Mon, but with this, you have the potential for the unfortunate 9 Mon Furry 10. If they're thinking
Gee.
really hard about it, they call
Yeah.
it. And there's also the 2
Yeet.
3.
But I feel like you take it for K10 even if you don't get the right draws. We do have a Ricci from Sichuan though, waiting on 2 Mon, 5 Mon. That is Tanyao, possibly Peiko.
Yeah, hopefully Christian pairs up the 7 8 Mon or 2 3 So, or they may end up dealing with the 5 Mon if they want to take Tenpai. Tumon comes into Anya's hand, but it's pretty far away and without value, so throws a Dora from Christian. It was just once cut, but it is the Dora. But if you believe in Dora theory, I guess you could go for a Tonki. Maybe wait on saw someone know the
Nope.
deal in.
Don't.
Oh, I don't, especially because like you have the chance for Furry 10. I probably would just try to take the 2 or 3 so.
The 3 so with Suji to the Ricci tile, but it's probably still a better defensive tile. But you don't have an Otazuke. You have a confirmed Sanshoku. So the 1-4 is just a better weight at that point.
Oh, I didn't see that was a
Home.
yeah. But still, like a 5 versus a 2 3, also more dangerous as well.
Things just not working out for Christian today though.
Yeah, at least it's just a 2 Han dealing, so it's not the end of the world, but could have been better.
Dora coming into dealer's hand now.
Christian calling the early White Dragon could use the Dora as well to get 2 Han, get him back up to about starting points.
Anya's hand looking the most exciting though at the start here. Now with an Anko of West, still has a shot at another 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku.
Yeah, that is Ishanten from that.
Yeah, that 5 Mon not actually doing anything in this hand. I guess if you draw the 3 Mon, you could drop a West to get Pinfu. So you drop a 4-peen here, or a 4 Mon, I mean,
Of this
to take the headless Ishanten.
did get the 3 Mon, but does not drop the West though. You see, I guess, well, 1 Yaku versus this Fu. I mean, I do miss Pinfu sometimes. Maybe it's also like a. I guess you want to like defend too.
Well, you don't. Well, that's why I was saying you drop the 4 Mon, not the West. You pull in,
yeah.
and then you have a headless Ishanten, so it's incredibly wide. And either you draw into your pair, and then you have more Fu, or you draw into something else and discard the West for Pinfu. But
And
now
then-
just holding on to the Dora.
Yeah, there was the unfortunate. You could have that. You kept the 3. You could slide at 3, 4, 5 and use the Dora possibly, but not if you throw the 3 away and the 5.
Chi.
Now we have a Chi from Patrick. Is this Tenpai? Yes, waiting on the 4 Mon, 7 Mon.
Yeah, 2 4 Mon, 2 7 Mon left in the wall.
Sumo.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, Tanyo win it all.
So the value not quite as explosive as it was at the beginning of the last Hanchan, but there's not many hands that are as big as a dealer Baimon, I suppose.
Yeah, it has. I mean, like I said, it's kind of like a Sanma hand, just getting all that value. Like a dealer Baimon East one. No one really expects that. Although it was showing at least a Magon.
Anya, our dealer on the right here, does have a pair of Hatsu, so could call quick. You could get a little bit more value doing a Honitsu in the Mon, though that would require you throwing away a Ryankan.
Let's go full and needs to cuts the once cut east. Even you just like get the hand as is. Oh, that
Ooh.
8 mod is great fill in.
Yeah, Hatsu Dora 1 feels fine to me here. Like, if the 4 ping came out, I'd probably pawn it and just take the Otozuke.
I would not, just in case there's the Mochi Mochi. Plus, I do like going for the Honitsu if I can. And this is definitely the kind of hand that could upgrade to a Nitsu. And it does go out Otozuke, but it does also call a Montile.
Right, so this preserves the chance for the Honitsu while still taking the Tenpai immediately.
Right, yeah. Especially if someone just goes for a Ricci, then you just absolutely just stay out of Zuke. Now, yeah, going for the Honitsu, I like it. Although using that 9 mon is not going to be great. You could like call the 9 and then you'd be waiting on 6-9, but there's only one of each of those. Actually, the 9 would be dead.
The 9's already gone, yeah. So the 9 mon really a pretty awful tile to pull into the hand here.
And if you could call the green dragon, but then you just have 1/6 mon. But would they expect you to be waiting on it with the pawn already? Probably not. Although no mon tiles dropped yet. Could look very much like the Mon Honitsu.
Okay, Sichuan on the left might be pushing for a Chitoi here. Or at least maybe Ipeiko or Ryunpeiko. Toss the Forso, has 4 pairs. Things aren't coming together. Sometimes that means you need to make a not typical hand.
Green Dragon in Patrick's hand. Oh, this gives him, and that comes out. Oh, and now you can wait on the White Dragon, but that's Hell Weight. But Sud gets the, I guess, essentially Hell Weight 6-mon.
I would have preferred the Hell Weight Haku over the 6-9 mon weight. Since your hand is so obviously a Honitsu. Oh, and there's the 2 mon.
The 2/5, yeah, you can wait on it. Wait up.
The 5 mon's totally dead though.
2. Oh, the Khan, 2 would have to be. No Khan, but still, I guess not against Horichi, especially when you're dealer, you pay twice the sumo payment. Oh, and do you keep that? The 2 monster Dora. But
you also get twice the style points.
Red Dragon is Otozuke's. But it's also that deals in the 2.
The 2 mon 5 mon looks so dangerous next to Dora and the 4 mon Ricci, but it's gonna deal into Patrick's hand there.
Yeah, I think the Red Dragon was also not cut though, but the Dora adjacency also makes it especially dangerous. It's like a hard decision in a way, but I'm not sure what I would have done. I guess the Red Dragon is like tempting. If it does pass, you will have a better weight. In this hand, possibly Peiko, possible Dora usage. Doesn't quite have a defined pair yet, but definitely good possible value here.
Sichuan already calling the West, which are their seat wind.
The rest of the hand is terrible though. Like all those even tiles, they get a pair, but like penchants. I think that's the word. Penchants, conchants. Oh, I think it's conchan, yeah. But so many conchants. Ugh.
I mean, everyone's hands kind of have that feel though. I mean, a lot of conchans in Christian's hand, pinchans in Anya's hand. Although Anya can get a 789 Sanshoku out of those pinchans at least. So value, despite the lack of speed. I mean, Patrick's hand, like, kind of building towards Churin.
Yeah. Maybe that's a little. Well, 1/1/1's already gone, but if the other 2 are in Christian's hand, though, definitely just go for the Chinitsu. Yeah, if you drew 4 pin, it would be Dora. It'd also be Tenpai, but it would not be like 7-mon, 9-mon, but you already have 3/7 on, I believe. Yeah.
Wait, is that Tenpai if you draw 4-peen?
Yeah, I think you throw the 2-mon.
And then you'd have
Yes.
9-9. Oh, yeah, it
9
would
7-mon
be
Shanpon.
that horrible Nakabukure Shampoo. Maybe you cheat this and discard 5-peen. You could.
Yeah, I mean, your
Cheat.
Shinichi, your dealer, why not? Well, Mon tiles don't look too great on the board. But I guess if you pawn, yeah, you pawn either 9 or 7-mon and you get a nice 2-sided weight. And there's a 9-mon.
Ooh.
Throw out the 3-pin. Yeah,
Going-
you gotta do it.
Going 8-mon Tonki.
Oh, and 4 is safe to the Ricci, but Shinichi looking at 2 calls. You can't throw the 4-mon if you're not,
Oh, well,
unless
there's
you're like
no-
not paying attention.
There's no overflow though.
I mean,
So I mean, you could
2
throw a
calls
1-mon.
though. Oh, the 1-mon.
it,
Oh
that's it.
no.
It's the Suji. And it's Christian again who deals into it. Like, I think that's honestly
guess-
kind of a forgivable deal in.
I
Like,
don't
it's-
believe in overflow theory, and this is exactly why. Overflow is a myth.
Again, if we were playing Sanma, I would say overflow is a myth.
Boom.
You can't trust overflow in Sanma at all. But it is so rare to get to Tenpai in Yonma without having at least one of your suit in your discard pile. Now,
Right.
when you have 2 calls, that does change things. It's much more
It
likely
does
that
happen.
you're Tenpai with 2 calls than with none. Patrick, though, is the one benefiting once again from that early big hand. And this hand is beautiful. The only thing making it look kind of less pretty is that Pinchon. Oh, but we already have Tenpai from Anya. This is a 4-7.
Ricci Pinfu Dora this early, pretty good. But Patrick, if he gets Tenpai in the 7, it's either it's gonna be he's not gonna be Tenpai quite yet. I think he had the 3. Did he have the 3 Wests in his hand at the same time?
Yes.
Oh, the 4th one, but a good folding tiles at least. And you do have a pretty sizable lead, but you might get in that same situation as last game where you just lose the lead, you lose your first place, even though you had such a great lead at the beginning. And it's still positive points, but it's just like it could have been so much more.
This is a slightly better situation though, because Patrick is all last dealer, and that gives you slightly more control over how things move along. That's only the second 4-peen. Oh, there's the third 4-peen. They were back to back in the wall. There's now only
what?
one
You're just
tile
a
left.
1 7-pin, yeah.
Patrick might still get to Tenpai here.
Yeah, it just depends on what is safe and what he's willing to push.
3-so safe, although 4-so is safe as well.
I guess. Oh.
There's Tenpai, 2-mon, 5-mon for Sichuan.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you get that 5-mon, that is gonna be a 3-sided
Yeet.
weight.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
they're gonna deal in.
Yeah, you have to.
No.
I mean, what is that? It's a Ricci Tanyo. Oh, and the Aura hit, extra punishing.
Oh, God.
Ricci Pinfudora, Aura 1.
Everything is going wrong for Christian right now. Just absolutely nothing working. He is starting out with a pair of Hatsu here, though.
I mean, the 3-sided weight is tempting, although I guess one of those would not be the Tanyo, but just unfortunate. See, South is Dora, and there's just 1 in Sichuan's hand. They have a lot of honors, though. Just the Red Dragon is just their value pair, though.
But Mochi Mochi with Patrick.
Boom.
There's the Hatsu.
Dealer
good
2
spot.
Shanten. Now, Sichuan, yeah, does have the option of 2 different Honitsus. May just go for just Chun only, except Probably
Alright.
won't come out though.
I am a Honitsu hater, I know, but if you ever say out loud you have the option of 2 different Honitsus, I feel like you don't have the option of a Honitsu.
Chi.
unless you have all honors and like 2 of each of 2 suits.
Well, it's 4 of 2 suits.
4! You're at minimum 4 away. It's the start of the second row.
Well, it is now, but it's not their fault they kept drawing so tiles. If you draw 2 Mon tiles or 2 Pin tiles, you just go for the Honitsu.
Chi.
Just a little unlucky there. Now it's Tenpai for the dealer. 3 calls, very open, though no one's really close to Tenpai. So 3/6 Mon is the weight. Still 6 of those left in the wall. So no South's coming out either. Actually, no, 1 was discarded by Anya.
Very early. Did not hold on to it for very long at all.
Yeah, Anya is now Ishanten, but the weight is probably going to be a Shanpon.
Patrick spent a bit of time considering to take that 4-peen chi and just ended up drawing it instead. Might take this chi.
Chi.
Yep, does. Discards the pair of 9 so. Gonna go Atazuke, waiting on the Chun, which is of course in Sichuan's hand on the right.
Riichi.
Right. With the reaching of
Oh.
Anya.
2
2/5.
mon, 5 mon.
Sumo.
Oh, with the
Oh, with the
sumo.
6! Christian finally something working out, gets a win. You gotta take that win and do something with it now. A lot of middle tiles here, not good shapes in any form or fashion, but if you start with enough middle tiles, the shapes can come.
Yeah. You got the Dora adjacency, although using the Dora means you lose Tanyo. Well, could get 2/3/4 Sanchoku as well. Not that far away from it.
Or 3, 4, 5.
Oh yeah. And I guess 2-pin, lock that in as the pair.
Yeah, I feel like you just call this though. Like your hand, it is not looking incredibly fast. You're already halfway through the first row. I feel like calling to accelerate to speed yourself up as
Oh,
dealer
it's-
when you have to win 1,000 hands. Oh, and we're gonna get
That's like-
an East Tonki from Patrick.
Oh, that's yeah. Well, it's Riichi Chitoi East. Once cut, someone draws it, you know. But I guess I would say I wouldn't call unless someone else calls. But now there's a Riichi call, so definitely got a call to get the hand. You gotta. It's the last dealership as well. Not a lot of opportunities for getting placement back.
Yeah, I mean you're just so far behind. Like there's no one hand that's gonna get you back in this game. Like when you are 20 to 30,000 points behind, you really need to think of it as a war of attrition at that point. Like you're gonna have to go on a run.
Well, you could just get a Biomod. It's that easy, right?
Oh
But now-
yeah, naturally.
It's the perfect Shanton for them now, though. So
It's a good spot.
yeah, possibly Riichi, Pinfu, Tanyo.
You just have to beat the East. You have to get there before the East comes into
Pwn.
someone's hand. There's a Pwn, and that's Tenpai. 5 so, 8 so. Oh, but those are
Unfortunately,
dead. There's one
well,
8 so,
one
one 5 so.
It's not. There's a chance.
It could also easily come out of Sichuan's hand on the right. If Sichuan gets to Tenpai, that 8 so will come out. I'm almost certain.
I guess Mount. Are they close to Tenpai though? Not
Not really.
Yeah.
That
Well,
3
that
P,
helps though. Do you go the 8-mon? Probably the 8-mon
8
first.
mon.
Yeah.
It's Suji.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another P tile.
Oh, goes for the full. Oh, the last. Oh,
and
no!
there's the East. No.
Riichi, Chitoi. Nora
Nora.
at least. but the wrong place and the wrong time.
That was Tenpai. Sichuan was Tenpai and just elected not to take it.
And it saved them from dealing into the Tanyo Nomi, but I guess that greed for Chinitsu saved them.
I mean, do you think it was greed? You don't think they were folding?
It's a little bit of both, I guess. I don't know if the North was Genbutsu, but having two of them in your hand makes it feel fairly safe.
To Dora, though, in this starting hand, there is not a tiebreaker if you end up with the same score as another player. So, on both Tenho and Mahjong Soul, whoever comes first in the wind order gets tiebreakers when you have a tied score. But in ARML, you just split whatever UMA both places would have had.
Yeah, I think that's more fair.
It makes sense.
Like, if anything, I feel like the person who comes later in the win order should win the tie. Because having the earlier dealership is an advantage, isn't it?
Well, it makes sense in like Tenho or Mahjong Soul where there's a Garayame. So the later you are in the wind order, like you do have more information to play on. Like your dealership is later, you can mess around with things a little bit more. So I think that's kind of the rationale to how the tiebreaker works. But in ARML, with there being no Agariyame, that definitely lessens the difference between the different dealerships. Four pairs for Patrick across the way. Has already won one Chi-Toy. Could get another one here.
Right. I may just be a little bit salty. I guess I shouldn't even be salty, but I was playing real life Mahjong. We were playing with that Mahjong Soul tiebreaker, but it happened to me and the same person. Like we each got the tiebreaker. So it ended up being like as if it was like the same, but ugh.
Yeah, it's hard to determine too. Like in a tournament setting, I feel like you could just go with whatever you wanted. But on like a ranked online ladder, it makes sense that you need some sort of tiebreaker, that you can't just allow it to be a tie, because your placement not only determines your UMA, but also determines rank point changes. So both Tenho and Mahjong Soul, it's not your score that determines your rank point adjustments, it's your final placement and your score. So if you're able to have ties, that would make that equation very, very complicated.
Well, nothing's stopping them from doing the tied UMA.
Well, you could do tied UMA, but you can't do tied rank point. Like, how do you adjudicate that? Like, if two people tie for third, that means one of them is in fourth and one of them is in third. Normally, for rank points, third is nothing, and fourth place is a huge loss. Would you just make it half of a loss for both of them? Like,
I think that would be fair, actually. Yeah.
is that
This
not quite Tenpai for Patrick? Ishanten, though.
Yep. And Sichuan's...
Christian Ishanten as well, but for Chi-Toy.
What is this? Is that...
ポン
Two Shanten for Sichuan.
Doesn't really want the three-sided, but it would be Furryton anyway, and making them drop a Dora.
チ
You
All right,
know,
this is
it's-
Tenpai for Anya.
Let's see, 2-5. So there is just 1, 2, 1, 5 left in the wall.
Just 1, 2. The other 5 is in Anya's hand already.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and if
Ooh,
Sichuan gets the 2, they will just take the Tenpai on 3-6. So
Anya could have taken a 3-sided weight. It would have been Furriton, but turns that down.
there's a
This is
3,
Tenpai
so-
now for Sichuan, waiting 4-pin, 7-pin.
Oh, the 4-pin. Oh no. Oh,
Don't.
there's a 7, but unfortunate. Either
Yeah.
way,
I mean,
unless you fold.
I feel like if you're gonna exit Tenpai there, you have to fold. Like the 4-pin or the 7-pin, neither one's safer than the other, because the 1-pin is already in Sichuan's discards. So if the
Yeah.
4-pin's dangerous, the 7-pin's dangerous most of the time. Like they go together when the 1-pin's already discarded.
Yeah, and they're both Doro Jason. So I think if you're going to like fold, should have been with like a So tile.
Sichuan with a quick call to south. Not going to hard push the Honitsu yet. Keeping that nice 2-3 So shape, but discarding the live honor. An Anko of 9 peen in the discards.
A little unfortunate, but do we really? I guess at this point, I guess keeping those honors makes them less likely to be called, or I'll call it immediately. People may not want to Adozuke without those, but
I mean, just has not drawn anything. Like, none of these draws have been helpful in the slightest after the South Pawn.
well, that's why you just have to read the wall, Tucker. If you just threw those honors instead, you'd have that Anko of 9 pin, and then you could con, and then you could possibly get another South from the con, and you just create all of the Dora that you need. It's that simple. You just read the wall.
Oh god, you're right, Dustin. I'm sorry. I can't believe I overlooked that. Patrick with a beautiful hand, Ishanten across the way, although not an Ishanten that can accept a pawn of the Hatsu. Oh wait, the Hatsu already in Patrick's discards. So this should be a Ricci waiting 6p, 9p. Well, the 9p's are all gone. Do you Ricci this? You have Ipeco, but you don't have Pinfu. You can't Dama.
No, Ipeco
Oh,
means you can Dama.
Oh, Ipeco means you can Dama. You're right.
And yeah, very decent first place, so it's fair enough.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. With all the 9 ping gone, like,
1
if anybody else calls Ricci, you're perfectly willing to just discard the Hatsu if you don't have anything safe.
Yeah, this is not.
This is Tempai.
I don't. No, not.
Oh, there's no
Not
pair.
quite.
相撲
Oh, just Sumo. Sumo Ipeco. Fair enough to Dama, considering the score line. Oh, and they get to be last dealer as well, so unless Anya goes on a rip here, then pretty secure first place. No, there's all those disconnected honors, but the nice pin shape.
And if you're going to have disconnected honors, all 3 of the dragons are a pretty nice way to go. I mean, you can really think of that as just one 3-tile block. Like, if they haven't been discarded yet, which they've started to flow out of people's hands, so they're not as useful anymore, but if they're still alive, that's 9 tile improvement, which is actually better than a Ryanman, although you have 1 more tile than a Ryanman, and it's only 1 tile worse than a Ryanman pair, which would have 10 tiles to improve.
I guess. I never really thought about it that way before, but I just don't really like keeping those low honors around, especially like this hand could easily be Tanyo.
Yeah, with this hand, there's no point, right? Like this hand is got enough good shapes. Your isolated 4-mons right next to Dora. You can do a lot with it.
Boom.
I guess. I think I would have kept the East for longer just because only you can use that.
Ooh, that's Tempai. Patrick waiting on 6-mon, which is totally live.
Boom.
That's Tanya Dora 1.
And there's that paired up honor. Oh, with that Uchinitsu Ishanten on the left from Sichuan. See, 1-1 pin, 2-2. Well, 1-2 pin in the wall.
Ooh, yeah, this is an upgrade. On Tonsu wait now. 3 So. Well, I guess it's not that much of an upgrade. Is it? Well,
Oh,
is
the
it an
six
upgrade
the
at
6
all?
is dead.
Yeah, you've already pawned that. But 3 So 7-mon.
I guess if you get the you get 6-mon, it'll be 3-sided, but furry 10. Oh, the 5.
Oh, the 5
no,
is going to deal into the Chinitsu.
Oh no.
And
was
now-
was there overflow?
I don't even
There might
know.
have
I was
been
too busy
one.
looking at Patrick's
I don't.
hand.
There wasn't before. It was Ishanten, but yeah, unfortunate.
But now, Sichuan with a chance to snipe first place here. A Mongon Sumo would be more than enough.
Yeah, but how do you make a Mongon with this hand?
Sananko, duh.
Yeah, Chitoy 2 away as well. Let's see, Dora is west. One on his hand, none others on the board. Actually, throws it away.
Yep. Anya has not respected the Wind Dora at all in these two Hanchan. Anya's just been yeeting out Wind Dora like it's nothing. Now, I don't think they've ever been Yakuhai, so it's not like they've ever been any use to her.
Yeah. But it's still, it could be useful. But I do. Sometimes I just forget what the door is, but sometimes it's also like, I want to throw this away as soon as possible. Oh,
Ooh.
Tenpai already? What is this? What? Oh, Tenpai on Menhon. Menhonitsu Hatsu. So Hidden Mangan. Might even, yeah, Dama specifically to target Anya for the
Yeah.
third place.
Sumo works, or yeah, just well, actually, Sumo doesn't work, does it? That'd only be 10,000 point gain, so you have to hit Anya, unless you work this
Gee.
up to a Hanuman.
Or just Ricci. Yes, yeah, Ricci, any Ura.
Ricci Sumo would do it.
Any Ura would tie if it's not. I mean, yeah, direct would. I mean, direct on someone other than Anya would just tie with a Hanuman. That's assuming you even get Ura. So, dealers Ishantan for their Tanya, but not getting this monster hand would just
Each.
be a shame. Now gets the Karagiri or Sumagiri Ricci. Which one do you take?
Can make choices here.
Does the Karagiri.
Okay, so now you probably just accept a roll off of anyone, hoping that you get one Ura. Also, Sumo would be enough.
Oh, if Patty
Sumo.
chooses the the
There it
Sumo
is!
Ricci
It's
Pot
Sumo!
Sumo. The delayed
Christian!
Ricci works out.
Escaping!
Is that no honey? Let's see Hanuman. Is that no that does bring them against that does bring them above Anya.
And it's Anya who ends up getting sniped there. Had a pretty comfy third place most of the rounds, but that huge Hanuman Sumo from Christian in all last is going to bring her right back down to the bottom of the division. Really wanted to climb out in these last two games, I'm sure, but couldn't.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, that if it was just a Mangan Sumo, that would have just been a tie. But the Patsu or the Sumo, just one of those was needed.
Mangan Sumo would have left Christian in fourth
Mm,
because it would
Oh.
have been 10k difference, not 12k.
man,
Because Anya wasn't dealer.
I don't do math these days. I don't like math.
But there was no Mangan Sumo anyway after the Ricci. Like, once you Ricci, all Sumos are going to be Hanuman. But we
right,
haven't.
Yeah.
We have an updating standings here. We see there's a group of people who have actually already played their third round games, but session 2 completely done for the B1 league now. Andrew sitting at the top of it, high above everyone else. I mean, 5 firsts will do that. We actually see the last place have been pretty evenly spread across the division. Almost everyone has 0, 1, or has 1 or 2. And you have a handful of people with 3 and just a couple with 5. But B1 has been very competitive so far.
Yeah, just like makes me wish my A1 league could have been like that, so it didn't demote at -8. Ugh.
Hey, listen. You've been in you're getting comfy in A2 now, right? You've been
It's
there for a little bit.
comfortable. I was thinking more like my place when I got a pretty decent positive, and then some people in like the -100s. So probably not going to demote, but there's still a lot of games left to play.
Oh yeah, still 16 Hanchan. Sichuan and Patrick though, gotta be feeling really good. Eight Hanchan in, and they're in promotion range, a solid 50 points above the cut line. So it's a good place to be. You can easily lose 50 points in one game, as we saw earlier, but you'd much rather be at +90 than -90. And Anya here still has plenty of time to get out. Has a long ways to go, but
Yeah, Sichuan, I believe at the beginning of these two, Achan was below Patrick and Christian. So definitely the big winner from these. Patrick maybe gained or lost, not changing too much, I believe. Then Christian losing a decent amount, at least like like 30 or they were positive
Lost,
before.
yeah, Christian lost over 70 points.
Anya lost about just 30 from the last game, but I think it's about I don't think she lost too much from the first one.
Yeah, Anya had a very small positive in the first game. So Anya had about minus 20 something. Christian took minus 70 in those two games, mostly because of the first one. So both Patrick and Sichuan got pretty big bumps there. Patrick was in the top 5 before this, but was in the top 5 with a much lower score, like was in like the 50s, I think. So these two games are what created this 45 point or 35 point rather gap between 5th and 6th place and B1.
Yeah, getting a gap, especially between like Christian, who was closer, like getting you a greater chance of just getting that promotion spot is always good.
But I mean, you still kind of feel like in the second session that you're still at the beginning of the season, and then all of a sudden everything ramps up super quickly. After 2 sessions, you're like, yeah, we're still in the beginning of it, and then all of a sudden that third session hits, and you get halfway through the third session, and you're like, well, crap, I'm really running out of time fast, and a
Yeah.
lot of movement has to happen from there.
I'm just checking our game results channel. Looks like Patrick got about 49 points and Sichuan got about 54 points. So definitely big winners in this two Hanchan set. And Christian with an unfortunate minus 75-ish. Then Anya with about minus 28.
But those were definitely two fast and loose Hanchons. A lot of fun to watch. Unfortunately, the other games that we were hoping to cast after these two Hanchan got played at an earlier time. Things just worked out good for the players and they went ahead and got things done. So that does mean that we don't have any more Mahjong to show you tonight. Any final thoughts before we sign off here, Dustin?
Oh, one of that I'm waiting for. Last minute ish shout out to the Cincy Ricci Open, happening November 12th. Sign up for that if you haven't already. There's still 9 spots left.
I believe signups for that close on like November 5th, something like that, like a 1 week out, I think.
Yeah, November 5th at midnight.
But that'll be a lot of fun. Both of us will be there, I do believe.
Yeah, lots of faces from ARML. If you haven't met them before, good place to like meet up, play some mahjong, maybe get some karaoke. Maybe at 2 a.m. might be a mistake, but we'll see.
Well, with that being said, I think it is time for us to go here. It's been fun. Thank you for joining me on commentary, Dustin, and thanks of course to Scott, who has been running everything as director behind the scenes here. If you enjoyed this short little stream, be sure to follow us here on Twitch. There's a little heart somewhere on the screen that you can click and you'll be notified whenever we go live. You can also see when we're going live if you follow us at Twitter at American Ricci. If you want to see recordings of the games that we have commentated, we have just an absolutely Leviathan-sized compendium of English commentary Mahjong video at tinyurl.com/ARMLYT. Be sure to follow us there as well, and you can see all of our VODs, even if you're not able to follow as we put them. And of course, if you want to get in on the action yourself, you should go to AmericanRicci.org. That is our website. Sign ups for the, I guess, the second, like, what are we calling a group of 4 sessions together, Dustin? Like, we've been calling each one a season, but at the end of each 4 seasons, there's like an annual championship match. So I feel like next winter or next January, which would be the net start of the next winter season, is going to be like a whole new frontier for the ARML. It's going to be like a second, I don't know, mega season? What would you call it?
Well, we could call them sessions, although that's what we use for the group of 4 games that we play. But they're both groups of 4.
Okay, so season squared, a square season.
I I'd say that, but that works.
That's exactly what I heard. I only hear numbers. But if you would like to join, signups for the winter season end December 19th. So plenty of time still to get in on the action to perhaps get us to form another beta league. And maybe that second year of ARML Mahjong will start with creating a C division. It just depends on you signing up. But this has been Ennui and Dustin for the American Ricci Mahjong League. I hope you all have wonderful nights. We'll see you next time.